What is up? What is up? What is up on this Friday morning, man? I am so excited to be doing this video because this is where I specialize at is mindset. And I know a lot of people are getting on planes to go visit their family and just getting together for the holiday season, which I totally support. Um, it's one of the most important times of the year, just in terms of people being able to be around the ones they love, and also just getting a chance to recharge from everything that's going on, right? And I titled this, like how to go into 2022 with more confidence. And the reason this is important is because while this is the time of year for family and getting together, this is also the time of year where insecure people bring down progressing people, right? Insecure people bringing down progressing people. What do I mean? So there's a lot of people that are going into 2022 with big goals, ambitions, they're making change. They're very positive about this. Maybe they have some momentum going. They've been doing affirmations, setting goals the last few weeks, and they really want to hit the ground strong in 2022. Proud of you. Nothing wrong with that. I'm rooting for you. But here's the thing, right? You're going to need to make some changes going into 2022. And part of those changes is monitoring and restricting what you allow into your mindset and what you allow into your life, right? And let's be real. While Christmas is about family and coming together and all that, it's also about people flexing, showing their egos, showing what they have. We're going to start to see a lot of materialism, a lot more materialism than we see throughout the years. And no, this is not going into capitalism or anything like that. But what it is showing is we're going to start seeing a lot of people who have money and a lot of people who don't have the money show these expensive gifts, show how they're the new year, new me, right? We start hearing that towards the end of the year, going into the new year all the time. New year, new me. Nothing mattered this past year. I'm moving on into the future. New year, new me. This is when you start seeing, people acting differently, maybe. And I just want to prepare y'all for that. So that's kind of the reason why I decided to jump on this live and do this live is because it's very important. If you're trying to move into 2022 with confidence, you need to really be aware of what's real and what's fake, right? We know that a lot of people are going to be getting gifts. A lot of people are going to be spending more money than they usually spend so that they can feel like they're starting 2022 off right. But that's not real. That's artificial confidence, right? And what are they going to do? They're going to get their new car. They're going to go get the new Gucci bag. They're going to get the new $5,000-$10,000 watch. And where's the first place they're going to go? Right onto their Instagram, right onto their Facebook to post. And then when you see that, the people that are progressing, the people that they just started writing their goals down, they're new to the personal development space, they're really just trying to build some momentum. They start seeing all these people with gold watches, all these people with new things, and living the type of lifestyle that maybe they want to live, and then it may bring them down. I want to save you from that, right? I want you to understand going into 2022 that in January, everybody seems like a superstar. In January, everybody got the nicest car. And in February, too, because of tax season, right? So this may extend till the mid-February. Between January and February, there are more fake rich people, more fake balling people, more fake, oh, I got my finances together people than at any other time in the year, right? This is when people are posting videos of them in the gym, making it seem like they've been going for a while, even though they just got the membership a few days ago. This is when people are posting the pictures of the new car because they just got that because the car dealerships are doing the Christmas specials and they're ramping up for the tax season, and they know people are going to use that tax refund to put as a down payment. This is when you're going to see more people making it seem as if they're living a lifestyle that they really cannot sustain, right? And that's what it comes down to, is sustaining these lifestyles. And so right now, more than ever, we live in a time where people can get into the lifestyle, but they can't sustain it. But when you're trying to come up, when you're trying to start a business, when you're trying to improve yourself, and you're constantly looking at people that seem like they have it together, seem like they have all this money, but they really don't, it can be difficult. So one of the things that you can do to go into 2022 with more confidence is just stay off of social media at least until January 15th. Right? Stay off of social media until January, at least January, I'll say January 16th. At least until January 16th. Like me, I run a business. So I have to be on social media to market my business and to, engage with people. But outside of that, I don't really get on my personal Facebook, my personal Instagram. I don't even really have a personal Instagram. I use it all for my businesses. But if you're just on Facebook and you're just on social media for entertainment and you're not running a business, try to stay off until at least January 16th. Because by January 16th, it'll weed out the fake gym goers who are making you feel bad because they went to the gym 3 times and now all of a sudden they're in shape, right? Stay off, because by January 16th, people are going to realize they can't afford their car payment and they're going to stop posting. Stay off, because this is the time of the year where everyone they have a little more time. They got some time off of work. They're around family, and their egos start to get built up because now they're comparing themselves to their family members who they haven't seen for months, maybe years, right? This is the time where you're going to see the most fakeness. This is the time where people who don't have their lives together are going to get on social media and start talking about how they're going to be millionaires this year and all of these things, which I'm not saying don't set goals, but what I am saying is that it can be very difficult to progress when you think that you should be somewhere that other people are not. It can be difficult to progress when you think that you're somewhere that other people are not. So if you think that you should have all this money because all these other people are showing money, then it can be difficult, because now you're looking at like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. Nah. Understand that success takes time. And so a lot of people use the new year as the benchmark for making substantial changes in their life. A lot of people use the new year as an opportunity to reflect and move forward, right? They reflect and move forward. Nothing wrong with that. What I want to do is help you get some tools so that you're not like the other 80 to 90% of people who set some goals, and then by the end of January, most of the people that signed up for the gym haven't gone. Most of those affirmations you've written down are on some piece of paper and you don't know where it is. Most of those goals you couldn't recite if somebody asked you what your goals were. So what I really want to do is I want to get away from the artificial stuff. I want to get away from, the car that you think is making you successful. I want to get you away from getting on social media and watching other people who are not as successful as they make it seem. I want to get you away from that, and I want you to take this time for you, right? Detox from social media until at least January 16th, because I'm telling you, there's going to be a surge of people that are getting on social media pretending to live a life that they're not actually living. So one of the things that you can do for a New Year's resolution, and this is big, is don't just say, like, if you want to lose weight, don't just say, my New Year's resolution is to lose weight, right? And the reason I'm going into this is because, a lot of people, they use it as their New Year's resolution is losing weight. But this is just an example, right? When you're cemented in your purpose and cemented in your goal, you're less likely to gravitate towards other things, towards other people. You can recognize the real, when you're actually living it. And this was difficult for me to understand at first, because I would get on social media when I was starting my businesses, and I would see this real estate agent selling this amount of properties, or this person that was a mindset coach or life coach or personal development personality or whatever, and they had all these things, and I was like, I want those things. I want to be living that lifestyle. But what I had to realize is that that's them and this is me. And the only way that I'm going to get what I want is to be as specific as possible. So if you're going into the new year with a goal, you need to be as specific as possible, right? If you want to lose weight, don't just say your New Year's resolution is to lose weight. Say how much weight you want to lose and put a deadline on it, right? And break it down. Break it down as small as you can. If you want to, so if your New Year's resolution is to lose weight, for example, well, how much weight and by when? So let's break that down. Let's say you want to lose 10 pounds by March. Okay, 10 pounds by March. So that's about 3.5 pounds a month, let's say. So set those goals. Okay, I want to lose 3 pounds in January. Or I want to lose 3 pounds by January 31st. Or 30, I don't know how many days are in January, but by the end of January, let's say, I want to lose at least 3 pounds. Okay, now, so there's the goal, there's the smaller goal. Now you need to figure out the daily activities you need to do to actually reach that goal. So if you want to lose 3.5 pounds by January 31st, what do you need to do on a daily basis? What do you need to do on a weekly basis, right? What are the benchmarks? Okay, so maybe your weekly goals are, I need to go to the gym at least 3 times a week for at least 30 minutes, right? That's specific. I need to go to the gym at least 3 times a week for at least 30 minutes. Or I need to walk at least 1 mile 3 times a week until January 31st, right? Set some goals. Set some goals and then start being consistent. And when you're setting these goals and you start reaching these goals, even if you do get on social media, you're less likely to fall back into the trap of, oh, they're here and I'm over here, right? They're doing all this great stuff and I'm not doing anything. Because here's the thing. When you're actually taking action on what it is you want, you're less likely to gravitate towards people who appear to be doing what it is you want to be doing, because you're so focused on what you're doing. You're so focused on your goals. You've put it in perspective, right? When you set those goals and you say you want to lose 3 pounds by the end of January, you've put it in perspective. This is something you've thought about, and you understand what it is you want and why it is you want it, right? So that's ultimately the goal. This kind of stuff is more important than people realize, because it's all about momentum. And what tends to happen is people have all this momentum going into the new year. They're hyped up. They see everybody else posting goals. They want to be a part of it. They feel the spirit. They feel, very motivated to make a change. And what ends up happening is they get a little bit of momentum going, and then it's harder than they think, right? It's harder than they thought it would be. But now they're still getting the input of, well, everybody else is doing it. Look, this person has $10,000 that they're flexing. This person has this new car. Everybody else is doing it. I'm a failure, right? I'm a failure. Everybody else is doing it. I'm failing. So then what happens? That momentum starts to slow down. And then when that momentum slows down, you start doing less. So now that you're doing less, you feel less motivated because you're not taking action. And then when you're not taking action, then you're further away from what it is you want. So now it's really becoming cemented in your mind that they're better than you, that they're special, that you can't do it, right? So all of this boils down to keeping that momentum going. If you could keep that momentum going until February, March, the rest of the year is yours, right? That should be your goal. That should be everyone's goal going into 2022 is, I want to keep my momentum. I want to keep my momentum going until at least March, right? And I don't even want to say stop it, but keep it going in terms of, if you're feeling like quitting, keep that momentum going until at least March, because I can almost guarantee you, if your momentum is going at least until March, you're going to be on autopilot and you're not even going to have to think about keeping your momentum going. Right? It's just going to keep going. And that's the beautiful thing, is that when you keep your momentum going for a certain amount of time, it's very hard to stop it. But when your momentum is slow, right? Like nobody is scared to jump in front of a car that's parked, but let it be going 60 miles an hour. I'm gonna have to step out the way, right? So your goal and your focus should be, how can I keep this momentum going every single day? Even if you're not hitting your daily goals, some momentum is better than no momentum, right? As long as you keep the ball rolling, you don't want it to come to a stop. Because once it comes to a stop, guess what? Now you have to put all that energy into getting it rolling again. You have to put all that energy into getting it rolling again. And that energy that you take to get it rolling again is more energy than it would have taken you to just keep it rolling. It takes more energy to get something rolling than to keep it rolling, right? So that needs to be a center focus when it comes to you going into 2022 and building confidence, is keeping the momentum going. If you sign up for a gym membership and maybe you don't feel like going to the gym today, but you said you would, just drive to the gym, walk in and walk out, right? That's momentum. You still went. You still showed up. You didn't just lay in bed. You didn't just not go. You still had that momentum. You still found a way to keep the ball rolling. Maybe it didn't roll as fast. Maybe it didn't go as far, but you still kept it rolling. And that's what you need. That's ultimately what this is about, is keeping that ball rolling. And it's a lot harder to keep that ball rolling when you're so focused on what other people have. When you're so focused on what other people got for Christmas, when you're so focused on this lifestyle that other people are pretending to live, it can be hard to keep the ball rolling, because you think that your ball should be rolling like their ball. You think that your momentum should be just as much as their momentum, right? But what you don't know is that momentum that you think they have, it may not even be momentum, right? Like right now, I'm gonna just be real. I got pretty good credit. I could flex on social media if I want to. I'll say that. Like I have enough credit and enough available credit, I'd say, to where I could go out and get this type of watch. I can get that type of watch. I can get this type of car. I can go rent a car right now and just make it seem like my businesses are exploding, or I'm doing better than I'm actually doing in life. There are a lot of, but I don't do that. That's not me. But there are a lot of people that do that. And if those are the people you surround yourself with, if those are your examples, if those are your role models, if those are the people that you look at and you say, okay, this is who I'm comparing myself to, it can be very difficult for you to get an accurate depiction of what is actually happening, right? And that's kind of one of, let me see, that's one of the main points that I wanted to make, is that your momentum is your momentum. Your momentum is your momentum. No matter how you look at it, it's yours. You have to own it. And setting goals and achieving those goals is a responsibility. And it's not going to come easy, but it's going to be a lot harder if you're trying to achieve your goals and you're trying to use other people as the benchmark, right? As the benchmark. And what I'll say is that insecure people bring down progressing people. Insecure people will drag down progressing people. So there's also going to be a group of people in 2022 who they didn't set any goals. They don't want to make any change, but they don't want you to change either, right? They didn't set any goals. They didn't read any books. They didn't watch any videos. They didn't put any effort in to making a change, but their only goal is to make sure that you don't make that change. Because if you make that change, now you won't be around to BS with them. Now you won't be around to gossip with them. Now you won't be around so they can say, well, at least I'm not doing as bad as so-and-so, right? There's a group of people in your life right now that don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to start going to the gym and losing weight, right? Because now if you go to the gym and lose weight, now the conversations are going to be different. Now you're starting to lose weight, and now maybe you don't want to go to Chick-fil-A every day. Now maybe you don't want to go to Sonic and get the half off shake in July, right? Maybe you don't want to go and eat at Texas Roadhouse every other week. And if that's all you guys did, now they're going to have to make a change in order to chill with you. So they don't want you to change because they may lose a friend because they're not willing to change. And that's one of the most difficult things that you're going to have to do going into 2022 if you really want to make some change, is to understand that people are not necessarily bad. And if you want to make a change, part of your change is going to include changing who you chill with, changing who you hang around with, not because they're bad people, but because they have practices that no longer align with your values. They have behavior that no longer aligns with your values, and that's okay. It's not personal. This is your life, though. This is your life, your one life. Your one life. And you should not have to hold up your progress because your friendship is built on eating Chick-fil-A and Texas Roadhouse every other week. You should not have to change up, or you should not have to hold up your progress because you're used to drinking with your homies and drinking with your friends all the time, but you don't want to drink no more. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to hold up your progress because that's what your friendship is built on. Build better friendships. If you can only chill with them because you're doing negative stuff, or you can only chill with them because you're harming your body, then that's not a real friendship, right? Or if it is a real friendship, you guys need to come together and figure out what you can do besides that. But don't hold yourself back. Don't say I'm going to keep doing this so I can chill with them, right? Because all you're doing is building the momentum in the other direction. Again, momentum works both ways. If you're not building momentum towards what you want, what are you building more momentum towards? If you're drinking 2 or 3 times a week and you don't want to be doing that, but you're doing it, you're building momentum to keep drinking 2 or 3 times a week. Let's just be real. But if you don't want to do that, then you start building momentum when you stop drinking. When you stop every time you stop chilling with that person you know is gonna, convince you to take that drink. That's building momentum. If you're trying to eat healthier, but you have that friend that always wants to go eat at these unhealthy places, every time you don't chill with them and go eat at that unhealthy place, that's momentum towards getting what you want. That's momentum towards living a healthier lifestyle, right? But every time you go chill with them and eat that unhealthy stuff, that's momentum to keep it going. So either way, you're building momentum. You just need to figure out how you want that momentum to play out. What direction you want that momentum to go in. And so moving on to, momentum with other people, you also have to realize that there's going to be a lot of people that are trying to persuade you to get on their program, right? Because people are more aware during the new year, like around January. They understand people are trying to make change. So you're going to have, if you have financing goals that you want to meet, everyone knows it's tax season around January, February. So this is also the time to protect your money. This is also the time to protect your budgeting and your financing, because there's going to be people that they specialize in bringing you down. They specialize in pulling you in their direction. And this is why clarity is so important. You need to go into 2022 with clarity. It doesn't matter how many goals you set. It doesn't matter how much money you spend on a gym membership. It doesn't matter how much money you spend on thinking that you're progressing. If you don't have clarity, right, when you start something new, it can be so difficult to not get pulled in the direction of people who do have clarity, right? That car dealership, they have clarity when you come in there. They know exactly what they want to do with you. They're not sitting here like, I don't know what they're doing here. No, They know why you're there, right? And they know what they want from you. But if you don't know what you want, then you go in there and buy a car you can't afford, right? You go into 2022 and you talking about you gonna start a business, but you don't have no clarity. Well, all these other people have clarity for your money. So now instead of you spending money on marketing for your business, or spending money to start that LLC, or spending money to get that business insurance, now you spending money on all these sales that are happening. Oh, look, all these sales happening because we want to, we want to get rid of this last bit of inventory because we had too much for Christmas, not enough people bought it, so it's on sale. Sales are going to destroy people's financial strength going into 2022. Sales. Like, so many people are gonna set goals for managing their money better, budgeting, vision boards, all these things, but sales are going to ruin so many people because they don't have clarity. When you have clarity and you say, okay, I need this, if I want to start this business, I need this amount of money, right? That's clarity. I need $2,000 to start this business. That's clarity. Oh, I'm getting $1,500 from my refund from the taxes, and I could save $500 for a check. That's clarity. Now you know you need that amount of money. But when you don't have clarity and you just say I want to save some money, you can't do that with that type of clarity because it's all over the place. Some money could be $2. Some money could be $10. It could be $100. But if you need 2,000 and you don't have the clarity to know you need 2,000, you're not going to get to that 2,000 most likely. And if you do, you're going to end up spending it. Right? If you don't have that type of clarity and you just say, "Oh, I want to lose weight," and you lose a pound, that may not be good enough. That may not be what you need to get you healthy, right? So going into 2022, you need to have clarity. And with clarity comes confidence. Why? Because when you have clarity, you're more focused and you're more likely to get the results you want because you have blinders on. You're not being pulled in this direction and that direction. And when you get pulled in different directions, you're more likely to stand still. You're more likely to stop, right? And when you stop, then it really feels like you can't do it. And then your confidence goes down because you believe you can't do it. But when you're taking action every day, when you have clarity and you're waking up with purpose and you understand why you're doing what you're doing, when you're saving that $300 to get to that $2,000 goal and you understand why, that brings clarity. That brings confidence, right? If you know you need that $2,000 to start that business, it's a lot easier to tell your friends, "No, I can't go." It's a lot easier to not get that thing that's on sale now because they're trying to push it on people because they had too much inventory during Christmas. It's a lot easier when you have clarity because you don't have to think about a million different things to make a decision. When you have clarity, you can just say, "No, I'm not doing that because I know I need this money over here. I know I need this $2,000. That's what clarity gives you. It gives you confidence. Clarity gives you confidence because you can make decisions quicker and you lessen the opportunity for deceit. You lessen the opportunity that you will fold. You lessen the opportunity that something will come in between you and your goals, right? And that's what starting 2022 is about, is building that momentum. Starting 2022 is about getting the momentum you need to succeed. It's not about succeeding yet. It's about building the momentum you need to succeed. And really that should be what November and December is about. Building that momentum so that when you hit January, you already 10 steps ahead of everybody. But if you already missed November, December, that's something for next year, right? But now going into the new year, that's what this should be about, is how can I build up enough momentum so that by the end of February, beginning of March, I'm still working towards my goals. I'm still working towards my goals. That's what this is about, is building momentum so that in 2 or 3 months, you're still working towards your goals. And this is why I say stay off social media until at least January 16th, is because this will give you the opportunity to refresh, to recharge, to not constantly look at people bombard you with their lifestyle that they may or may not be living, to so that you can just think about what it is you want, and you don't have to have in the back of your mind, oh, so and so just got that new watch. Dang, I wish I had that new watch. And then it feels hopeless because it's like you find out it's $10,000 and you're like, man, I ain't even got 300 saved up yet. I ain't even got 200 saved up yet. Or they got that new car, man. I've been needing a new car. Matter of fact, my car, it's not even working right now. Like it's on this last leg. What am I gonna do with this car? And then you start getting stressed. You start adding more problems on just because you looked at somebody else's lifestyle and it made you feel some type of way, right? So going into 2022, here's a few practical things that you can do. One, in the comment section, I've added my free mindset and clarity workbooks. You're going to get 2 workbooks. They're free, totally free. All you have to do is text Fitzmindset to 22828. Text Fitzmindset to 22828. You'll get an email and it'll have the workbooks in there. During the next few weeks, go through that workbook, fill it out. There's exercises in there and questions that will really help you define your purpose, define why it is you want what you want, and gain a sense of clarity so that you can make the decisions that you need and you can stay strong in the face of temptation. You can stay strong when you feel like other people are where you should be. Other people are where you should be. When you have that clarity, it makes worlds differences. It makes so much difference because you can make better decisions with more clarity. Clarity equals confidence. All right, y'all. I hope that helped. Make sure you like, comment, share, all that great stuff. And really make sure you go download that workbook. If you have any questions or there's anything I can do for you, make sure you DM me. I also have a course that's dropping in the next few weeks on overcoming rejection. And if you're looking to take your 2022 to the next level, this course is really going to help you because this course is all about overcoming rejection long enough to get results. In other words, building that momentum up long enough to start getting the results, and then the results start creating more momentum. So a lot of big stuff coming 2022, big year. Let's keep it rolling.